Okay, let's go over Chapter 3 Study Guide. The reference point that we are using is AB here. Which line appears perpendicular to AB? These are all the lines that make a nice corner square with AB. So those lines are BD, AC, AG, and BH. Next one, which lines appear parallel to AB? Lines that are parallel, they have to be on the same plane, but they don't touch. So that is CD and GH. Those are parallel. 3, which lines appear to be skew? So those are lines that are not in the same plane, that share with AB. AB is on the top plane and the side plane. So in this scenario, lines that are skew are CE, DF, CF, GE, and EF. Finally, the last one, which plane appears parallel with ABC? ABC is the top, on top. So the plane that is parallel to it, meaning one that will never touch it, is plane GEF. You can use any combination of H, G, E, and F to name the plane. So pick any of those 3 letters. Number 5. Name a pair of perpendicular lines from this picture. So here, perpendicular lines, they have to make a right angle. We can say P and X. Because why? Because they have that box. That tells us it's perpendicular. Number 6, name a pair of parallel lines. Well, if we start with P, we can also say L is perpendicular to P because P has a box and L also have a box. So we can say P and L, and why? Because they have matching boxes, or they are both perpendicular to the same line. Number 7, moving on down, name all pairs of angles that correspond. So alternate interior angles. So those are all the angles that are kind of like this on the inside of the 2 lines, but on the opposite side of the transversal. So 4 and 14 are 1. We can also say 6 and 8. We can also say 9 and 14. And 8 and 13. Okay. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles got to move up and down, and they got to match together, just like that. So 4 and 12 correspond. 1 and 14 correspond. 9 and 12 correspond. 10 and 13. 7 and 14, and 8 and 11. Consecutive interior, this one is the easiest one to spot because they are the roommates. So for the roommates, 4 and 11, 5 and 14, 5 and 8, 8 and 14, 6 and 7, 9 and 13. Next one, linear pairs. These are 2 points, angles that form a straight line. So here, 7 and 8. So these 2 form a straight line, 7 and 8. 7 and 10 also form a straight line. 9 and 8. 9 and 10, 11 and 14, 11 and 12, 13 and 14, 13 and 12. E, vertical angles are angles that are on the opposite side of x's, so like 8 and 10. Those are vertical angles. 7 and 9, 14 and 12, 13 and 11, 1 and 4, 2 and 5, 3 and 6. Number F, alternate exterior, so they are on the outside of the two lines, but on the opposite side of the transversal. So for example, 11 and 10 are alternate exterior. So I shrink this down a little. 11 and 10, 7 and 12, and 1 and 12 are alternate exterior angles. Next one, number 8. Find the measure. So these are alternate exterior. They are equal. So to find x, you set them up equal. Kind of subtract 12x to both sides. Add 1. 2x equals 18. Divide by 2. X then equals 9. So we have x equals 9. To find the angle, I'm just going to plug it into one of the equations. So 12 times 9 plus 17. Punch that into the calculator. You should get 125 degrees. So my two answers are x equals 9 and the angle measure is 125 degrees. Number 9, are they congruent, supplementary, or neither? So here, these two, had there been tick marks to indicate parallel lines, they would have been congruent. But since there are not, they are nothing. There's not enough information to say anything. So we'll say neither, and why? There's no parallel markers to indicate anything. There's not enough information. Number 10, determine if any lines in this diagram are parallel. Well, they have to have boxes that are on the same line and they kind of pair up. So here, this box and this box, they're both on line N and they belong to A and B. So A and B are parallel. Number 11, the first thing we want to our proof is our given. Since measure angle 1 is equal to measure angle 2, we can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 7 because of our congruence theorem. Number 3, A is parallel to B. So 1 and 7, these are alternate exterior angles to each other. So to prove parallel lines, we use alternate exterior converse. Keyword is converse. We need to use that word. And then last one, number 4, 3 is then congruent to 5 because we proved parallel lines. Well, 3 and 5, if you look at the diagram, they are alternate interior of each other. So that's why they have to be congruent. 12, let's find the first slope is -1. Second slope is 1, so this is perpendicular. Second one, to find the slope, we want y's on top of our x's. So y, x on the bottom. So then we get 1 minus -2 over -3 minus -7. This turns them into pluses minus a negative. So this is 3 over 4. Second one, -1 minus 4 over 2 minus 8, which gives us -5 over -6, which is 5, 6. They are nothing in relationship to each other, so it is neither. bottom, I'm going to rewrite c to make it y equals mx plus b. So 9x plus 3y equals 18. Subtract 9x to both sides. So 3y equals negative 9x plus 18. Divide everything by 3. So y equals negative 3x plus 6. First slope is negative 3. Second slope is 1/3. They are perpendicular since they are opposite inverse of each other. Parallel have to be the same. Perpendicular is opposite inverse. And neither is neither. 13, we're going to use a different one. We're going to use b as negative 2, negative 1. Distance formula, x minus x squared plus y minus y squared. Put that in, put in our x's. So then it's 15 minus negative 2 squared plus negative 21 minus negative 1 squared. These turn into pluses. 15 plus 2 is 17 squared. Negative 21 plus 1 is negative 20. Doesn't matter, but 20 squared. This gives me 289 plus 400, square root of 689, or if you punch it into calculator, 26.2.